Hi, hello, it's Sophie Mahia from the Artist Marketing Academy, coming to you today from quite a hot and sticky Perth, WA. Got the aircon on behind me and whew, it's a bit fanning here in the studio. Today I want to talk to you all about why you need an artist business plan. Now, for those of you that know me really well, you'll know that this is a topic very, very close to my heart. For those of you maybe watching for the very first time and you're wondering who on earth I am, as I said, my name is Sophie Mahia and I help my fellow artists to set up and grow a stable, profitable business doing what they love every day. So if this is something you aspire to, if you've always dreamed of building that beautiful art business, waking up in the morning, creating the day that you want to, going in the studio and doing what you love, and then of course switching energy and maybe doing some business and marketing stuff, and then ending the day, I don't know, whatever you love to do at the end of the day, going for a swim, going for a cycle, going for a walk, but living each day on purpose, living each day the way you've always wanted to, and creating a really good living at the same time. Now, if that's been your dream, to create the day exactly as you want it, to create the life exactly that you've always wanted, then please stay here and watch these videos. This is video 1 of a 12-part video series that I am super excited to be launching here today. So this is the introductory video. In here, I'm just going to give a little bit of the big picture, and then every week I'm going to be doing a little bit more section, the next section and the next section. I'm going to walk you through everything that you need in order for you to create your ideal dream art business. Now, if you're watching the replay, I would love it if you could just put in hashtag replay in the comments below. And for those of you coming on live, hello. If you're writing in the comments, you will know by now that I'm blind as a bat, even with my glasses. So I apologise if I can't see exactly what's going on, but I will try my very best. So multitasking, you've got to get the video just right, the camera angle just right. You've got to remember what you're saying, and you've got to read the comments. It's all just quite a lot to take in. So without further ado, like I say, this is video 1 of a 12-part video series. So today we're looking at why exactly as artists and creators we should be putting together a business plan. Surely we can just rock up and create what we love, make some painting in my case, or create some sculpture, or put together some beautiful jewellery, and then just put it out there and hope that it sells? Is that the way that it goes? Oh my goodness me, it's absolutely not the way that you want to be doing things if you absolutely want to be building that artist business of your dreams. Now, before we get stuck into a little bit of the content, I just wanted to share with you a little tiny snippet from my story. Going back, where are we now? We're 2019 right now. And we're going back to 2003, 2004, when I left my teaching job and went full-time as an artist. Now, when I started out, I had a very clear plan. And guess what? Things went just as I wanted them to go. But then as a couple of years in, I got a bit cocky and I thought, oh, I kind of know what I'm doing. I don't need to spend time making that plan. I don't need to sit down with that pen and paper or get out the computer and start filling in all of this stuff. I'm sure I can just manage without. Well, do you know what started to happen? What started to happen was I got overwhelmed. I began to say yes to too many opportunities, to the point where I just didn't have enough work to go round, and so I was stressed. I was literally pulling my hair out. And then what happened was I got overwhelmed in the studio, and the bottom line was I completely burnt out creatively. And actually in 2008, I decided to call the whole thing a day. I was not enjoying what I was doing in the studio because I felt totally overwhelmed. I felt that actually I'd become a bit of a conveyor belt, and I was having to, I hate to use that phrase, but I was churning out artwork in order to meet a need from my agent, the galleries, the art fairs, the shows. Now, some of you might be watching this and think, goodness me, Sophie, that's a quality problem to have. But I can tell you, it wasn't a quality problem. If I'd had a decent plan, I would have said yes to some things and no to others. And then my quality problem might just have been overwhelmed with perhaps new customers or quality reviews or that sort of thing, rather than overwhelmed of actually having to produce. So I don't want that for you. I want you to feel good about what you're doing. I want you to feel in control of what you're doing. And of course, to love all of it as you go forward. And I still want for you to be able to make a good profit. And you can. There is no reason why you can't make a good profit. But I'm going to tell you one thing. Having an artist business plan is going to be your roadmap to success. And if you don't have one, well, I've already shared what happened to me when I stopped. I got a bit cocky and I didn't bother. And now I think, goodness me, I'm investing maybe a day of my life in order to make sure the next year goes smoothly. One day, folks, maybe equivalent to 12 hours, you might say over 2 days, to really put things in perspective, to really think through, to work out how I want the year to go. That is a minute bit of time in terms of the rest of the year. And I can't do my mental maths, but 12 hours out of the number of hours in a year is nothing. And I'm going to say to you, if you're not prepared to actually give yourself that time, invest in your business and give yourself that time. See, now I can actually see a name. I can see black numbers. Hello, Sharon. Very welcome. Welcome to this video. I'm sure you're as hot and stuffy over the other side of the hills as I am today on this side of the hills. So I want for you to just look at that is an investment of time, and it might not be the most exciting thing to do. It might not be the sexiest thing to do. It might not be something that you look forward or want to do. But what if you could actually place a different meaning on that? What if you could actually understand that that little tiny bit of time is going to enable you to have the best possible year of your life and create the business that you want? Would you then be prepared to give that little bit of 12 hours? I think you would. I think if somebody's going to do the maths for me. Yes, Sharon says, yep, absolutely. So if you have a calculator, Sharon, you can work out the number of hours in a year and then take 12 out and let me know how many hours there are left for everyone to do whatever else you want to do in your life. It's a really small investment. All right, so what happens if you were to put aside this time? Then actually, what are the main benefits really of having a plan? So I would say the number one benefit is, yes, you're going to save time. You're going to save time kind of going off one way and then going another way. It's like taking a long journey, isn't it? We make a destination. We say, I know. That when I was in England, we used to say, I'm going to drive to Scotland. And for those of you who've never been to England, it's right up at the top. It's really kind of like driving up WA here in Australia. It's not that far, but it seemed a really long way back in the UK. Hello, Jenny. Belated happy birthday for yesterday. Now, if you didn't really know exactly where you were going in Scotland and you didn't use a map, you'd set off in the car, and if you didn't know the roadways at all in the UK, you'd end up maybe going via Wales. And whilst it's very pretty in Wales, you could get lost down some side streets, and you could go up a mountain and down through the valley. Right, Sharon says 8,748, but she's not sure. It's a lot anyway. So you could get really, really lost on the way to your destination. But what if you took out, now many, many years ago, I used to have a thing called a road map. Before good old Google Maps come along, we'd get the road map and we'd say, okay, this is where I want to go. Now I've got various options to get there. I could go up the motorway, the fast route, and I know exactly what time I'm going to get there. Foreseeing, without a few sort of obstacles that of course life might throw in the way, but basically we know it's going to take this number of hours. Or I could go a more scenic route and wind around and see a few other places, but it's going to take me 2 or 3 times as long as I want to get there. Either way, I've used a map and I know I'm going to get to the end goal, and I have control over which path I'm taking in order to get there. And it's exactly the same with the business plan. Now, I don't know about you, much as I love Wales and going around the windy roads, I actually like to make a map where I'm just getting as quickly as possible to where I want to go, because I don't want to spend years exploring different ways to make my business work. I just want to say, do you know what? This is the way that's going to get me there, and I'm going to take that route. I hope that you agree with me, those of you that are watching. Who wants to go the windy, slow road when actually there's a fast road, a direct road that's going to take you there? So that's one of the main benefits of having a business plan. The next one is it's going to give you clarity. You're going to make some decisions. You're going to sit down and say, okay, do I want to do this or this? And rather than it just happening, or you just wandering off and see what happens, which by the way is somebody else taking control of your life, not you, you're going to say, okay, I might not be sure of this strategy, but I'm going to do this, and I'm going to see how this works out, and if it doesn't work out the way I want to, then I'm going to do this. But either way, you choose, you're in control, you are going to move forward in a strategic, clear thinking way. Now, what does that give you? That actually also gives you more time. Because I don't know about you, but when you're confused, when you're trying to think about lots of different things, this blocks up this stuff in here. And therefore, that gives us even less time in the studio to create. And I'm pretty sure you feel the way I do. The more time on creation we possibly can have, the better. So clarity, it's going to give you focus. You know, when you get that phone call out of the blue and it seems like this amazing opportunity, somebody rings you and says, oh, I've seen your work on Instagram. I'd really love it if you put it into this show. And without any sort of research or thought about it, you say, oh, that's great. I've been asked. Someone spotted me on Instagram. I've been asked to go into a show. I'm going to say yes. You don't look at the time. You don't look at the show. You don't look at what location it's in, whether it's got the right target market, what's the marketing strategy. You don't take any time to see, does it fit in with what I'm doing? Is it going to get me on my road to Scotland, or is it going to take me off to Wales? And I'm pretty sure I can give you the answer to that. You should be doing the research and looking at where you want to go, where you want to be, where you want to show or exhibit or put your work, rather than, accepting a random call. And what you might want to do is say, do you know what? I'll look that up and come back to you. But without a plan, we can end up just leaping at opportunity and heading off sideways. What else is, I reckon it's going to save you money, by the way. I certainly know, going back and thinking back over my art business and also my coaching business, when I made a very, very clear plan and made very, very strategic decisions, I would very often buy things at a certain time or not buy some things because I knew I could make them last in a certain way, and therefore I actually used less money than I did by just randomly going from thing to thing. So I think it's saving you massive amount of time, it's giving you clarity and focus, and it's also going to save you money. I mean, that call that you get in when they've sort of enrolled you in, they say, oh, by the way, we just need you to pay a fee of, by which time, of course, you're so committed, you're like, I'm going to do this thing. So stay in control of what you want to do. Plan out your year. When I start planning, I like to put in my holidays, things that go on in the country that you live in so that you're not clashing with big events. I like to put in business events. I like to put in some structure into my year before I even start with the planning. Anyway, we're dipping ahead to a future video because remember, this is video 1 of 12, so that's on a whole different episode. So once we've created this document, how do we even use it? Well, look, see, I have this notebook here. If you were to put your plan in here, this is how you use it. So how you don't use it is you write it and file it on the shelf, never to look at again, because then I agree it's a total waste of time, energy and effort. But what you do is you have it in something that you can look at every day. So you can remind yourself, I'm going here and this is how I'm going to do it. All right, what else? Questions. Somebody often asks me, what happens if I want to make a plan further down the line? This all sounds very rigid, Sophie. Hello, hello. Hello to Alana. See, I can read with these glasses, it's good. what happens if I want to make a change to my plan? So I've spent hours putting this plan together. I've spent my 12 hours putting this plan together. And now suddenly something's changed, or I've changed the way I want to do things, or there has been an amazing opportunity and it feels better to do that. And my answer is nothing is made in stone. This is totally for you to change as you want. You can be as flexible as you like, just so long as you keep moving forward to the end goal. If you find a shorter route, if on our drive to Scotland we find a shorter route, we're going to take that shorter route. Okay, so of course you can make the changes, but they make the changes in the plan so you're still very, very clear that you can get where you want to go. I think the number one thing that I really want to just mention today in this first video is at the moment I meet a lot of fantastic artists here in Perth. You're all beautiful, you're all wonderful. Without exception, or maybe there's a couple of people on the call, almost without exception, everybody I come across has started some sort of plan, but about one in, I don't know how many, has actually completed it. Now I know there's somebody on this video who's completed it, because I happen to know, but what happens for most of us is we dive in and you hit a roadblock. You're not sure how to complete part of the plan. You're looking at, maybe you're using a template, and you think, I don't really know what that means. I don't really understand how to fill my numbers in. I don't know how to price my work. I don't know what it means by research. What am I supposed to do here? And so you put the document aside and you just go back in the studio. Who here would agree with that? Please type a yes in if that's you. So the only way to get it done is you really want some help and assistance and guideline. Somebody to be able to say, I need a bit of feedback. I need a bit of help. So number one, you need some help. And number two, you have to give yourself a deadline to get it completed. And what I would like to suggest is that you get an accountability buddy who holds you accountable on day 3 and says, hey, where's your completed business plan? I'd love to read it. Because if you knew you had to hand it in to somebody to read, pretty sure you've got a higher chance of actually completing it. I'm pretty sure you'd get over that roadblock, wouldn't you? You wouldn't just get to the first one and say, it's time for that glass of wine now, to hell with the arts business plan. I don't care what Sophie says, I'm going off to do something else. The glass of wine, folks, is for when you've completed the business plan, okay? And I would rather that you got a 1-page plan complete than open up, I don't know, a 5-10 page document and not complete it. Sharon says, yes, I'm still stuck on pricing work and finding clients who want to pay my worth. Yes, and I can't read the rest because it says see more and I need to click on it. I will answer it later, Sharon, I promise you. And this is all really common stuff, isn't it? Where are the customers? How do I find them? How do I get in front of them? What about confidence for pricing my work? Who am I to price at high prices? Should I price high? Should I price low? What on earth should I do? I know I'll have a glass of wine or a cup of tea and not price at all, because that's a lot easier. So all of these things I'm going to be answering in future videos. So much like Netflix, I want you to diarize this. We are going live for the next 4 Tuesdays, and the following ones are going to be on Wednesday, just because I have a bit of a diary clash. I was trying to do it on the same day every week, and life doesn't go like that. So it's very clearly, I've got a Facebook event with it all in. So if you want to make sure that you don't miss an episode, it's on the next 4 Tuesdays, so there'll be 5 Tuesdays in total, and all the rest of them are on Wednesdays. We're doing it at the same time, which if you happen to be in WA is 3 p.m, and around the rest of the world it could be your morning, could be your evening. I've tried to pick as good a time as I possibly can for everybody. But hey, once I've done it, it's on the replay. You watch it whenever you like. So really what I want to leave you with is, of course, I want to dangle what's next. What is going to come up in video 2. So next week, I'm going to help you with your vision, mission and purpose, and why that is the single most important thing for you to start your business plan with, and what happens if you don't. So in order to find out, you need to tune in this time next week and watch the live video, Vision, Mission and Purpose on your business plan. That's video number 2. And hey, if you're watching the replay, and if you're a lucky person to be watching it in the future, you can binge watch the videos. How fantastic is that? I love a binge watch personally. When I'm watching a series, I like to watch the whole lot. I don't want to have to wait a week for the next episode. But you know what? Those of you who are on live, and thank you so much for joining me, you're going to have to wait a week. Keep in suspense, put the date in the diary, and I will look forward to doing the call with you this time next Tuesday. Have a wonderful week, everybody. Don't forget to post your questions in the feed, and I will look forward to hearing from you very, very soon. Bye.